Welcome to Ask Chuck webcast. This may be the last webcast before our Christmas break. Who knows? Maybe we'll be in session next week, but the idea is to work through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to get done, so we'll have plenty of time for people to make plans for their Christmas break. I welcome, as you have done, by sending me questions by email, tweeting, or by Facebook. Thank you very much for participating. So let's go to the first question. Dear Chuck Grassley, you think Brewer should resign. I think Obama should. So let's compromise and seek Holder's resignation. Well, I presume that you're very much upset about what's going on with Fast and Furious. Let me suggest to you that your question might be a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but obviously still have a lot of seriousness to it, because I think you know that I called for Brewer's resignation last time. The reason I called for Brewer's resignation last week is because we had ample evidence that he wasn't doing his job and he lied to Congress. I've always said, in regard to Holder or anybody else, including the President of the United States, that I will ask for their resignation when I find out with proof who actually gave the go-ahead for Fast and Furious. Heads have to roll if things are going to change in Washington. And if that's Holder, I'll ask for his resignation. If it's somebody in the White House, I'll ask for that resignation. But we got to make sure that a stupid program like this doesn't happen again, and one way to do that is to make sure that heads roll for the person that approved of it. So I'm going to have to wait on the President and wait on Holder till I get more information. But I thank you anyway, Bud from Clive, for that question. Bobby from Des Moines tweets, keep $30 million for literacy and school libraries in this year's federal funding. Right now, the appropriations committees between the House and Senate are trying to reach an agreement on what should be in every appropriation bill that the President hasn't signed yet, and I think he's only signed 3 out of 11. The rest of them will be put in an omnibus appropriation bill to get us through to the rest of the year. So their negotiations are ongoing. So at this point, I can't tell you what's in the appropriation bill on literacy and libraries. Obviously, I support money for literacy and for libraries, and have a very good record in regard to that. I'm not a member of the Appropriations Committee, so I'm not in on these negotiations. But I think it'd be intellectually dishonest for me, Bobby, not to say that with this tremendous budget deficit situation we have, that probably every program's going to have to be cut to some extent, or at least not get the big increases that they've got in the past to some extent. How that really affects libraries and literacy at this point, I can't say. But I thank you very much for your question, and I thank you very much for being in touch and connected with very important programs to encourage reading and to encourage literacy, which leads to more reading. Thank you very much. Now I'll give you an update on what we're going to do the rest of this week, and maybe it'll be the rest of this year, depending on whether or not I'm back here for another Ask Chuck webcast next week. That would be some nominations today, some work on the balanced budget constitutional amendment, with a vote on that on Wednesday, and then finish appropriation bills for the rest of this year, and possibly deal with tax, doctors, other spending issues connected with the unemployment and continuing the payroll tax holiday. I invite you, whether it's next week or whether it's next year, to keep in touch with me on Ask Chuck webcast. Welcome your questions on email, tweeting, and Facebook. Thank you very much.